This is the MMA News.
The attendance was 14,790. The gate was 4.035 million. Performance of the night went to Diego Sanchez and Johnny Walker. And the fight of the night was Garbrandt versus Munoz. Those guys all get 50 grand.
I know you didn't get the finish that you probably would have wanted, but still, you know, overall, I know it's still fresh and you haven't watched it yet, but how do you feel about your performance tonight?
You know, I feel good. I definitely would have liked to finish the fight. I definitely felt as if I slowed down in the 5th round, which is something that's uncommon for me. But I do feel good. Anthony Smith was the most experienced person I've ever been in there against, with 70 fights under his belt. And he showed that experience. He was extremely durable. He was extremely calm. I put him in a lot of positions where I felt most people would have freaked out. And he kept his composure. He did a really great job.
Long journey to get here. I know you didn't get the result you wanted, but still, I mean, main event, you go the 5 full rounds. What's the emotion like for you right now?
Just really disappointed. I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. I did exactly what I told everyone I wasn't going to do. I let Jon Jones sit back and be Jon Jones. You know, I guess sometimes you just go in there, it's not your night, I guess, but that's just not good enough for me. I don't know, I just couldn't pull the trigger. And when I did, I didn't combo up like I was supposed to, and I don't know, man, I didn't do anything I was supposed to do except for defend the takedowns, and I think I did a much better job of checking kicks than I have in the past, but my cardio held up, so all you fucking idiots can stop talking about it. I mean, that's really the only positive I can take from this, man. It's a whole ton of negatives, that's for sure.
Almost got disqualified, so I'm just curious what you thought of his performance as a whole, and if you had flashbacks of Matt Hamill or something when he's...
Yeah, it's always difficult when somebody does that. But, it's a weasel move if you try to weasel out of the fight if you're not really hurt and try to win the fight that way. You didn't win the fight. You're not winning the fight. And much respect to Smith for, being a stand-up guy like that, because it's a weasel move. And he could have copped out and he could have done it. I think the ref did a good job taking 2 points too. Yeah, and you look at the hand; it was right. Was it? It's one of those things. So, much respect to Smith for doing what he did.
It seemed like, as dominant as John's been, you used the phrase a lot of times, clean out the division. He's cleaned it out many times over.
Yep,
so there doesn't seem to be a guy that you sit there and say, that's the guy to fight with Jon Jones. So do you push him to heavyweight? Like, what do you do with him to get a...
You don't want to see Thiago Santos fight Jon Jones?
No, I didn't say that.
Kevin Elliott doesn't want to see it, but I do.
So, and with Jon, I mean, like he's that kind of guy that it seems like he's such a big star that he rises to the occasion, knocking out DC and the thing. And so that's why I say,
No, you're right.
I'm not sure how he would view Santos, but I know how he would view Brock Lesnar or DC.
I love the Thiago Santos fight. I love that fight. I would love to see him versus Jon Jones. The Brock fight is Cormier's. When Cormier's healthy, that's his fight. And plus, Brock has WWE obligations right now, or believe me, he'd be calling me. So that's the fight to make.
Had the illegal knee. It looked like maybe there was an illegal kick before that as well. I don't know if that landed or not, but give me an idea kind of what was going through your head as those sequences unfolded, and were you worried? Because we were told that because the foul was ruled intentional, if Anthony could have continued, you would have been disqualified.
Yeah, that was. The first kick, I definitely aimed for his body, and that's where it landed. The illegal knee was totally unintentional. In the moment, I felt his body language rising. I felt his body, rising. And I thought I was getting ready to time a great headshot right after he got off of his palm. To my understanding, on his fingertips, he's considered standing. His body came up, I threw the kick, and I guess his palm was still down. And totally unintentional. hats off to Anthony Smith for having a lion heart. I mean, I think the average person would have used that as a way out and became a world champion. And, I mean, I did an illegal blow. And he decided to allow the fight to continue. And I'm so proud of him for just being a real warrior out there and continuing to fight.
Dana was here earlier, and he said, Thiago Santos looks like the right fight for you next. Give us your take on that. Do you believe that's the right fight for you?
You know, I'm going to talk with my coaches and see what they want me to do, you know. So there's a lot of great fighters in the UFC. Everyone's looking so impressive. And whoever it may be, I'm here to defeat them all.
Can you explain what happened? Both, you know, he seemed to have that illegal kick to the head first and then the illegal knee. First, the kick, did that get through to your face? And then the knee, can you kind of talk us through sort of what your thought process was after that landed?
Yeah, the kick was hard. The kick was really hard. And you know, I kind of got lost for a second, you know, trying to figure out. It was one of those times, like, was I on my feet? I couldn't figure out if it was illegal, and I realized, like, no, I was sitting on my ass. And Herb said that it was to the body, so we kept on going. And then the knee happened, and again, I was, you know, it was really, it's confusing when shit like that happens because you're not expecting it because you know you're down, which is exactly why I wasn't coming straight to my feet because Jon times that stuff so well. You know, you kind of got to time it perfectly. So, you know, I don't know, man. It was the two hardest shots I took all night.
Couldn't help but notice you came in a wheelchair here and limped to the chair. So give us an idea of what's going on, what your status is.
Man, I've said it. You know, when I came in, I said this is what I was going to do. I said I was coming for that welterweight strap, and there was nothing that was going to stop me from attaining that and achieving that. For a long, long time, I've been on one leg. I've been fighting fights on one leg. When I fought in the Ultimate Fighter finale, I had microfracture surgery, and that's usually an 8-month recovery turnaround. I had to fight 3 months after that, and I fought 3 months after that, and I had to train through that with that. I've been on one leg the whole time, and coming into this fight, I was in a boot all week. I fractured my left foot, and I was in a boot. I was walking around in a boot, but nothing was going to deter me from achieving, you know, what I've set out to achieve. And so, you know, I'm hoping that I can go back and have the doctor really look at it. You know, now I get a little bit of time. Now, I don't want that much time because, you know, there's a couple of guys I need to beat up, but I need a little bit of time to let these injuries heal so I can not just be 30%, so I can be 100% inside that cage.
I'm sure you saw Colby Covington cage side. I mean, is that the right fight for you?
Can I curse up
rematch.
Here?
What's that?
Can I curse up here?
Of course you can.
I want to fuck that guy up so bad. I can't be in a room with that guy. I can't be in a room with him. It's like, I just can't. And, you know, I can't wait to be healed up and really get to put my hands on him. You know what? That's one I'm going to enjoy, brutalizing him.
Tyron, I'm sure it's, you know, not a fun moment for you right now, but give us an idea, just the emotion that you're feeling right now.
You know, I beat a lot of ass in my day, you know, and I've also been knocked down, had to bounce back. So I can give you a million excuses on earth, but I can tell you right now that I was prepared, I was ready. Even in the warm-up, I felt extremely sharp. And sometimes you just have those fights when you go out there and it's like a badass dream. You want to punch hard, but you don't punch. You want to move forward, but you're stepping back. So I had too many moments in there. And Kamaru, he came out there and he won. So I still believe I'm the greatest welterweight of all time. So now my path is getting back and getting a belt. Sometimes everyone thinks that, you know, proving that means you go on a streak and you don't lose and you're undefeated. But sometimes the greatest champions have to face adversity and bounce back and win. So I'm looking to try to run that fight back.
Did something surprise? Was his strength, his pace, was it surprising to you? I mean, what happened?
No, he didn't have a crazy pace. I mean, he was just kind of fainting and squatting, and he just made you very well aware that he wanted to clinch and he wanted to get close. And, you know, sometimes fighters, they want to prove they can stand with you. They want to prove they can bang. And I said that a long time ago. I said one thing, if I had to give him an attribute, his composure for a fighter who hadn't fought a long time. And he kept that composure. He stayed to the game plan. You know, he took his time. He was patient. It just wasn't a good night for me. So, like I said before, we know what I'm capable of. I just look to rematch that and run that back, man. That was my 5th title defense. I feel like as a champion and what I've done in this organization, that the performance may not have vouched for a rematch, but I think my resume does.
Kamaru Usman, new champ there, looked pretty incredible tonight. Curious what you thought of his performance this evening.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were there at the press conference. Woodley said, "What are you going to do to me? I do everything better than you do." So, and I told you guys after the RDA fight, I respect RDA a lot, and I use him as a gauge for guys when they're coming up. He looked so good in that RDA fight. I knew after Colby turned down that fight that I wanted to do the fight with Usman.
You walked over to Colby with about 2 minutes left in the fight. What the conversation was with 2 minutes left in the fight, what you had to say to him?
No, there was just, when there was a lot of ruckus going on over there in his area. He almost got into it with Mama Woodley at one point and everything. That was like the third time I'd gone over to him that night. I just told him, listen, you're going to get this title shot. Don't f this up. Just relax. You and all you guys relax. If anything goes down, let our people handle it, and we're going to take you in the back in a little while here and do some interviews. That's all I said to him.
So that's the fight to make then?
Yeah.
Can you just give us an idea of kind of what your emotion is after what looked to be a pretty controversial ending?
I mean, shit happens in there. Sometimes there's mistakes being made. Herb checked on me, and when he checked on me, I gave him the thumbs up, and he came in there. I couldn't hear him talking because of how the choke was on. My head was on his body on this side, and his arm was over here, so I couldn't hear him talking. And I'm not going to just dangle a hand there, so I just put it down, and then when he checked, I gave him the thumbs up and looked right at him. I was like, hey, man, I'm good. I mean, it happens. I mean, he's a hell of a ref. He just made a mistake.
Any talk to the commission or to him or, ask, I think replay could have been a possibility here about why maybe more steps weren't taken?
Yeah, I don't make excuses. I just kind of like roll with the punches and try to be positive about the situation. I mean, I'd like to run it back. I mean, it is what it is, but I just don't like making excuses, even if stuff like that happens, whatever.
Obviously it's not your job to call the end of the fight. So, with the way things played out, how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I feel great. I went and did my job, and I watched the video. I saw the arm go limp. I know he said he was trying to relax himself, but I don't know any conscious person who just goes, right, this doesn't happen. So, but that's not my job. And to what Mr. Bennett said, they tell you in the pre-fight room, if I'm saying protect yourself, protect yourself, protect yourself, you have to give me something. And, he said he couldn't hear me, but there's definitely nothing, my arm's here, so there's definitely nothing over that one ear.
He came in a little earlier and, handled himself with class, but did say he'd really like to run it back. Considering the way it ended, would you be open to a rematch?
Not really. I didn't really want to fight him in the first place. I like Robbie Lawler a lot. What's the point? Right now I got a plane ticket to London. I heard they gave Colby Marty, which that's kind of annoying. Nobody likes Colby. Just get him out of here, please. I thought he was getting traded or something. So I'm going to go to London. Till versus Masvidal, that's like 3 versus 6, 3 versus 7. I think the winner of that's probably going to be top 3, and that's who I'd like to fight.
Some controversy, of course, with Ben Askren's debut. So just wondering what kind of view you got into that and what you thought of that stoppage.
Bad stoppage. And we had a debate, me, the referee, and the commission over being choked out. I've been choked out many times before, too. And one of the things that you don't do is jump right up and say, what the f did you just do? It never happens that way. That was a bad stoppage. It happens. What are you going to do? It sucks. It was a good fight.
Robbie said he'd love to run it back. Ben said he passes. He said he didn't want the fight to begin with, but he does want to do it again. He'd like the Till Masvidal winner.
We want to do the fight again, so we'll figure it out.
Outside of the other stuff, was there anything in the cage that impressed you, or what was your thoughts about him actually, his performance?
Askren? Well, obviously Askren's tough as nails. Lawler hit him with some. You guys saw him after. He looked like he got hit by a bus, and that damage was done in the first few seconds of the first round. And he came back. I don't agree with the stoppage, like I said earlier, but it happens. These things happen, and he's a tough guy.
Cody Garbrandt is 3 losses in a row now. What do you think the issue is with Cody?
The issue with Cody is, man, he just won $50,000 tonight. That kid is fun. He's fun to watch, and he got clipped, and he got hurt, And I think he just went into war mode, man. He knew he was hurt, so he said, I need to take him out right now. And he just started bombing, trying to finish that fight. And it was one of the most exciting few minutes of a fight that I've seen in a long time. You know, he's that kid. He gets clipped, he got hurt, and he went into war mode.
Curious, what do you make of Johnny Walker? 3 KOs in the UFC. The only time he gets hurt is in the post-fight celebration.
Yeah, this kid's awesome, man. This kid's special. And I wish he would stop doing that shit after. There's no upside to celebrating like that after. The kick worm or whatever the hell that thing is that he was trying to do. It's just unnecessary. You don't need to do it. What you did already was impressive enough. I'm hearing that he's okay. I'm hearing, because it's all I've been terrorizing the medical staff about tonight. They're going to wait till Monday to get him an MRI because he said he was fine. All the symptoms look good after the fight, so hopefully that's true. That guy is so talented. He knocked out Misha Serkinov like this, like it was nothing. Set him up for the knee, and it's one of the nicest flying knees you'll ever see. That guy is super talented, and I hope he's okay, and I look forward to seeing him fight again.
If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for our YouTube channel, or they will fire me. You heard right. If we do not reach 1 billion subscribers in a week, they will kick me out. I'm counting on you, good sir.